for the pleated tote bag, we have a whole page in your project binder of how to cut it out. And so it's really important that you kind of follow these directions closely. So at the top, it's telling you all the pattern pieces have a red number on them. I'll show that in a second. And so the red number is what we're looking at when we come down here. So it tells you exactly what to cut out of what. So the outside fabric is first. So it says layout, pin, and cut the following pieces. So I am looking for piece number 11, piece number 12, 14, and then 15. And that's out of my outside fabric. So of my beautiful fabrics that I have here, I'm gonna say that my watermelon is my outside fabric, and then my green is my inside fabric. So I'm just gonna get this green out of the way for now. So I'll put that aside. And then now you're gonna grab the bag that matches your machine number. So the bags are numbered. These pieces have to be put back together when you guys are done at the end of each class period, because this is a class set and the other classes need to use these. So when you open the pieces up, we're looking for those red numbers. So there's a red number, and I need 11, 12, 14, and 15. So 11, 12, 14, and then 15. And so we've got the extra piece. I'm gonna set that aside. So now we want to lay these out on the fabric. And just like with the other patterns that we've discussed, there's a grain line. So you have this line on the pattern and it says grain of fabric. So remember, we always want that to be parallel to our selvage, which is the factory edge on the fabric. So that is parallel, so it wouldn't go this way. We would turn it and go this way, and then bring it all the way down to the left side so we can kind of conserve our fabric here. I'm just gonna lay it out first and then pin. So then we know the grain has to go parallel here. So then these all just line up really nicely side by side, because all of these grain lines would be parallel to the selvage. So once you have that laid out, keep this free because those would be scraps that you can make pockets with. So then you would start just pinning, kind of keep it nice and flat. This piece 11 is kind of funky because it has lots of jagged edges, and I will demonstrate that in another video. So you would just cut that out, pin and cut all the pieces out. And just like with some of the other patterns that we've used, we have little notches. And so you want to cut around those. Unfortunately, a previous student has chopped that off, but you can still see where one was. And so I still want you to, even though doesn't exist anymore, you still see that that's where it was supposed to be. So I want you to cut a little triangle out there. It's going to be super convenient later on when you are marking or when you're lining things up. And so that's why you need those notches. So this piece number 11 has a notch here, here, and then one up here. And so this one, unfortunately, a couple of them have been cut off, but I'm gonna remember that when I come to that spot, I wanna cut that out. And then we've got 2 notches on piece number 12 and 1 notch on piece number 14, which is down here. So I will make sure that when I cut those out, I cut around that. So that would be my outside fabric, pin, cut, and then label. So grab a piece of tape, and I want you to label it the number that it is. So this is piece number 11. So I'm gonna put an 11 on the tape, and then after you cut it out, you can put it on the fabric. That way you can easily grab your pieces when you are working on the project. So I would cut and then label all of these. So then the next thing you want to do is cut your inside fabric, which would be your green. And so that page in your book is telling you that you need to cut out piece 12, 13, and 14. So that would be 12, so you would have to do that one again, 13, and 14, which is this one again. So you would lay that out. You're gonna have a lot of extra of the green or of the inside fabric for scraps and for pockets. Same thing, you're gonna cut those out. Then, once you have your outside cut, cut your inside. Down here on this page, it says sectional pocket. This is not a paper pattern piece. You're gonna cut that using the rotary cutter. So it's telling you need one piece that's 12 inches by 12 inches. And so you can choose, do you want to cut it out of your outside fabric or cut it out of your inside fabric? The pocket itself is going on the inside. So you can decide if you want it to match or if you want it to contrast. So whichever you want, or you could cut it out of both and do two. But that pocket is required. So then you will cut your sectional pocket, and then you need to do your markings, which I will show in another video.